Let's
brain
talk about
melting
one of the
sound.
loudest sounds in the world, which is ship's sonar. Before you try to escape from the video, just know this, it's not clickbait. This sound can actually destroy any living creature with a sound. In previous video about scary underwater sounds, I have mentioned that sounds travel way better underwater. But even underwater, brain melting sound has to be created with something quite powerful. Let me introduce you to a sonar. Sonar is a machine that uses underwater sound waves to find other objects in the sea. A sonar can work by sending out sound and listening for echoes, active sonar, or by listening for sound made by the object it is trying to find, passive sonar. The one sonar that you have to worry about is the active one. And the active one is the one which generates pulsating sound which bounces off the object. Basically bats, dolphins and some other strange animals use a similar type of technique to understand their surroundings. It is called echolocating. Even some people are capable of such feat. For example, this man is blind. But he uses his own sound to know how far away is the object. Also, he is able to distinguish what kind of material it is. Sound is measured in decibels. Decibels is a logarithmic scale. For example, 50 decibels sound is 10 times more powerful than 40 decibels. So 10 additional decibels make it 10 times more powerful. What is the loudest sound you have heard? A race car? A motorcycle? Maybe you have been at a concert. All these sounds are around 100 decibels. At this level, people tend to receive a minuscule ear damage, but we can still tolerate it. At 135 decibels, you must wear ear protection. Jet engines are pretty loud since they are from 120 to 140 decibels, enough to cause a nearby person an ear pain. At 160 decibels, you might completely lose your hearing. Before you say that your neighbor has a sound system that can do a very high decibel levels, keep in mind that these sound systems usually generate only loud, low-frequency sounds, also known as bass. High-frequency sounds are way more painful than low. It's because high-frequency sounds affect more the nerve center. The most powerful sonars have decibel levels of 235 decibels, which is around 10 billion times louder than a jet engine, 30 meters away from the observer. That's right, up to 10 billion times louder. Not only that, but these sound waves can travel for hundreds of miles underwater and can retain an intensity of 140 decibels as far as 500 kilometers or 300 miles from the source. The submarine could easily ping from shores of Sweden and be heard at the shores of Lithuania. Of course, the sound would be heard underwater, not in the air. To be able to hear sonar water ping in air, you would have to be way closer. So how does a sonar work? How is it able to create such incredibly powerful sound? A sonar is typically made out of the transducers. When we apply electricity to transducers, they convert it into mechanical motion or sound.
They're just like...
They can also receive sound and convert it into the voltage. So not only these things can create sound, but also pick up sound and display information on the sonar screen. Basically like a microphone, which also can make a sound. One of the most powerful sonars is SQS-26CX. This sonar is at its limits, since giving it more power would start boiling surrounding water and create bubbles. Yup, intense sound can boil water 1 meter from the hull. And crew of submarines would be having a hard time reading surroundings when there is a sea soup boiling nearby. But if the submarine goes deeper, it takes more power to boil. So submarine sonars could use more power. And by saying more power, I'm saying up to 700,000 watts. A powerful home stereo which can drive neighbors mad may use just 250 watts. Also, sonar sounds can be concentrated into a beam, so instead of destroying everything around them, they can shoot an active ping into the needed direction. This
like
makes the signal
super
strong
high.
enough that they can bounce it off the bottom of the ocean
how high
and
you can
detect
make it,
a submarine
but
more
on
than
land.
65 kilometers away or 40 miles. Even if you were standing
What about friendly
300
fire?
meters away,
Yeah,
which is
obviously
1000 feet
your team
from a
would be fucking
submarine,
aware
you could still
and be
hear
wearing
the
ear
sound.
protection.
Keep in mind that sound is
So it's not like
drastically
they're just like, oh,
reduced
YOLO.
when it travels from water to air.
Ace in the sleeve.
Now, you might be safe by staying on land, but what exactly happens if you try to swim or dive next to an active sonar? Well, you wouldn't even need to be remotely close to a submarine. Even if you were far away.
Yeah, I get that sounds don't travel the same way in the air, but at a shorter radius, it should still be like very powerful.